Aquino. But do we know
I'm sorry.
how did he do his part as a leader? Last election, presidential election in 2010, there are several well-known persons who ran for president. But why is it that President Noynoy Aquino won? Is he have something different characteristic from the others? Sometimes we often think that President Noynoy Aquino won the last election because of their popularity, because of his father, of his mother,
And his
of what he
sister.
did for our country. Do you know that President Noynoy Aquino won because there is still a lot of us Filipino who still trusted him to that President Noynoy Aquino would change our country. When the time that he sat on being an ultimate leader of the Philippines,
Yeah.
everything in the administration seems to have turned upside down in an effort to erase even the smallest traces of President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Like for example, he changed the picture of President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo in the back of 200 peso bill and the youth of Wangwang. Most people think that everything will be changing for the better. But others say that there's still something left for the main focus of the president. Is really Pinoy creating a big project for the good of Filipino people? Currently, what people may say is that President Noynoy main focus is all about eliminating the bad apple of the government. If you look back at the former president, you'll see that she is more focusing on infrastructure. Currently, these two administrations is far completely different. Maybe for a reason that their way of leader is different. Do you know that President Noynoy Aquino inherited a huge anomalies from the former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, but he didn't lose hope to uplift the present situation of the country. He rather started the following. The first one is, in our own language, the 4Ps, or what we call the Pantawid Pangkabuhayan sa Pamilyang Pilipino, which was
Bad speller.
okay, which was given by Department of Social Welfare Development, or what we call the DSWD, I think, and to lift the fortunate household of some of our countrymen. And the next one is the Pantawid Pangpasada. For its utility vehicle, its driver has given an ATM which has an amount of 1,500, I think, to use for their daily pasada. The next is additional budget for the education, that start a new curriculum, or meaning an additional 2 years course from the middle school that was patterned from the US. And the last one is the steadfast decision for Spratly Island. In conclusion, the progress of our country does not only depend on our leader. We must be cooperate, or we must be participate on his decision. On our part, as a student, the only thing that we could do is to study harder, so that in the future, if we could attain our goal, we can be able to contribute to our progress of our country. So, this may seem political and serious, but please bear with me. I will start this speech by telling you this quotation by Vernon Kutcher. He said that, don't ask what the government can do for you. Ask why he doesn't. So, I think in my first time reading it, I thought it would be the John F. Kennedy lines that don't ask what the government can do for you, but ask what you can do for the government. But I think he is really right. Why don't the government do it for us? And we just help the government to do it for us. So our nation, the so-called Pearl of the Orient Sea, is on the stagnant poverty since a mere millennium ago. Our national hero, Jose P. Rizal, in his novel No Limit Tangere, said that our country's economy is stagnant. Think of it. Jose Protasio Rizal is a millennium ago from us. Then, it is still stagnant until today. Right?
Yes, sir.
There is no progress. A millennium ago, there is no progress. So, my question to you is, what did the government do to solve the problem that is a problem since a millennium ago? What do the government do? And the big question here is our president an effective leader? For me, he isn't. Just look back 50 years ago. Our economy is as high as all of the Asian countries in the world, in the Asia. Second to Japan. Our country's economy is higher than Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia. But now, we are at the last rank. Didn't it, for us Filipino, we say, be proud to be a Filipino. But how can we be proud if our economy is like that? Right? So, my point here is, I don't persuade you because I am not believing on our president. I am persuading you on the fact that is happening today. Think of our economy. Our economy on last quarter of 2011 is the lowest of all, lowest progress of our economy for almost 4 years. Our president Benigno Simeon Aquino III is 2 years in his office. So think of it. And on the last part of Mrs. Macapagal Arroyo's administration, there is 4.2% of progress. While on the last quarter of 2011, there is 3.2 progress. Didn't it? He said that there must be a tuwid na daan, as what he said. But isn't it that we must walk on the path of progress instead of path of straight line, the straight path? Path of progress first, before the straight path. How can he persuade us that he is an effective leader if we can see the progress? And think of it. Do you know the Filipino diaspora? Anyone who can tell me what is the Filipino diaspora? So the diaspora is a term for the Hebrew scattering throughout the earth. We Filipino experience it today. Think of our OFWs. They are scattering throughout the earth. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Our Filipinos, as the Filipino citizens, scattered throughout the earth. They are in America, there are Filipino community in Japan, Filipino community in Hong Kong, even in Nigeria. How dare? Our Filipino citizens are even think there is no hope in the fatherland. We must go outside the Philippines. Even in today's administration. Even in today's administration, not the past administration.
I am not here to compare the past administration and today's administration, but I am here to focus on the current administration and what he do for our country. So, on the education, there is no progress. The rooms, our public school is still dead. And think of it, there is 11.3 million Filipinos that is unemployed, and not including the underemployed Filipinos. So underemployment came to unemployment. Unemployment produce poverty. Poverty produce hunger. It is a domino effect. And think of it, the toll rate is higher than the last year. So this is another domino effect. Higher toll, higher means of transportation. Higher means of transportation is making higher cost of productivity. Higher cost of productivity is higher market price, and higher market price is making other Filipinos can't afford to buy even food that will serve as their dinner. Many Filipinos experience hunger, even in today's administration. You can see it by your bare eyes. So, for the conclusion, our country that is so-called, as I said a while ago, the pearl of the Orient Sea, is on the storm that made her stuck a millennium ago. It is the same storm that make us stuck in this hell-like country. We must make it a heaven for us, enable for us to be proud of the Filipino race, of the Malayan race.
Amen.
So,
Go, kill yourself.